Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast channel. In this episode today, we're talking about the Black Ops 7 reveal and doing some what is it going to take for teams to win at champs. Maybe going to be a shorter episode today. It's just Brock and I. Will get into that in a little bit. But if you guys enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. We're kicking it off how we always do today. We're going to do the compare game, Brock. We got no
Okay.
Brad this week. Brad's probably going to be hit or miss just for the summer because I think we talked about it last week, but he's working on starting his doctorate program at the end of the summer. So he's working for the summer. So he has some weird hours. He's working a lot of nights. So we may be hit or miss. Brad may be on some weeks, maybe on, may not be on other weeks, depending on his work schedule. But then I think it's like in August, he should be back like for good, like full time. Just he's got a lot of like random work hours just getting ready to go to his doctorate program. So no Brad for this week. It might be a little hit or miss, but you'll either hear his voice or you won't.
Yeah.
Brock, we got the compare game on. Which player which player averaged a higher SD/KD ratio this season through Major 3, Hecz or huke? So
Yeah.
I think huke has a pretty good KD, but Hecz is number 1
I think it's Hecz.
in overall KD. So should we go with Hecz?
Let's do it.
It was Hecz, so 1.25 to a 0.99 for huke. So huke's around a 1.
I thought who was better than the 1.
Yeah, I thought he was too. I mean, because he has like a 1.1 in the year. So yeah. Oh my God, Brock, your boy is in the second question.
Oh, he's
Which
so
player has a
terrible.
higher KD in one full series versus a pro team all time? Major, Maniac, or Octane? This just feels like
A bait.
Octane, it just feels like a bait, like it has to be Major. I want to say Major.
I'm down for Major.
It was Major. He had a 2.47 at CWL Fort Worth 2019 against Denial. So
Damn.
Black Ops 4 event.
That was wasn't what team was he on?
Dude,
With
I mean, he was on Gen G.
Yeah, Gen G.
But I wonder, I'm trying to think of who. That's crazy because who would have Denial? I don't remember them getting in it. I know they did get back in a little later. I thought in World War II, but did they get back in BO4? Because remember they like scammed their players and like didn't pay them.
Yeah.
That's weird. Also, the Octane one is funny because that was. I know this is when you were a little bit out of touch with the league, the MW19 year, but that
Oh yeah.
that Octane LAG one is hilarious because Seattle Surge couldn't win a match that year, and all they did was farm LAG. That's how they got like all their points. They got like 50 points or something, and all of it was against LAG.
Yeah, I see.
Funny.
You're not wrong. I see 2020 and don't remember much from that year.
But that was funny. I remember that Octane always like talks about that. Is like he literally farmed them for 1 year, and that was like all he did in that year for Seattle was just beat LAG. All right, our third one. Which player has a higher Call of Duty LAN earnings all time? I don't know. It says which player. It should be which team.
Player, but yeah.
Envy or LAT. So they both won a champs. And I was gonna say LAT's was more money, but I want to say like the Black Ops 3 like prize
That's
pool
pretty good money.
might have been bigger. And Envy has a lot of champs seconds. I think it's Envy.
Yeah. Let's go with
They have
Envy.
because they won BO3, they have an IW second. They were second in BO2.
They had a good 3 years
They had like
run.
in World War II with Chino and like Huke and them, they got like a top 4.
Yeah. It's gotta be
I'll go.
Envy.
It's not. It's just that the big money from the recent tournaments.
Oh,
We should have known it. I
dang
wanted to
it.
say it was LAT just because the recent tournaments, but I wonder if that includes 100T also.
Has to.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It probably includes 100T also because, well, no, it must not though because in that case, I would assume MVs would include Empire.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a weird question.
Man.
Which player has had a longer drought since their last top 4 champs placing Looney or Nagafen? The Nagafen picture is funny because that's literally Red Reserve.
The Nagafin's not even in that photo.
It's 0, Josh,
Zed.
Joe.
Oh,
No, I think it's Josh. I think it's 0,
you're right.
Josh,
You're right.
Joe, and Rated. That's funny. So when was Naga's last top 4? BO3?
Yeah.
He didn't do basically anything
After
after
that.
that. He did win Challenger champs in MW19, but his was BO3. Looney's was what? I think Looney might have because was Looney on LG in IW?
Not totally sure.
I think I want to say the longer drought is Naga because I gotta like Looney was on so many good teams. I know he should have placed higher in World War II, but they bottomed out top 16.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Should we go
I would.
Nagavin?
I think it's gotta be because there's no way. Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah,
Yep.
Infinite Warfare. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I thought he was on that LG team that plays top 4 in Infinite Warfare. Um, we can't get 100%. I'm disappointed. This next question doesn't want to load. We're just going to give up on the compare.
I loaded for me.
Oh, what is it? I can't even click
It
it.
says which player averaged a higher hardpoint KD ratio this season through Major 3, and it's TJ Halley and Lucky.
Hmm. It's not loading for me, so we might have to chalk it and just say we got 3. And maybe I'll come back to it if it loads at the end of the episode or something.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to our next thing. Sorry for you listeners that wanted to see if we could get 5 out of 6 or 6 for 6 this week. We didn't get the 6, but I don't know why. It's not loading on my end. And if I refresh it, it's going to restart. So I'll
Does it?
maybe
Does stick
wait.
around.
Yeah, we'll end the episode with it if it loads. But I've got the article here. Everything we know about Call of Duty Black Ops 7, the release window, story details, and more. Uploaded yesterday. Yeah, yesterday by Deserto. So I'm just gonna kind of go through this, talk about like the points we see and stuff, Brock, and like if there's anything you want to mention or talk about, like we can go for it. There's obviously some things that like don't matter as much. Like you got here. I mean, it's been revealed with leaks what's happening, and then let's see, like Clockwork, they drop a new game every year. The annual PS series become a juggernaut, and it's release window. There's currently no exact release date, but it's almost guaranteed to arrive in October or November. That's really no news. It's for as long as I can remember. It's been October or November. I think it's been every game besides maybe like a really early one that I didn't play. Yeah. 15 COD titles have been released in November, while the other 6 have landed in October. So literally everyone. That's not news. We expect it to be either end of October or early November.
Yep.
The trailer launched. I'm not as interested in the trailer necessarily, just because like I mean, anybody that knows us knows this. Like I'll play zombies here and there. I'll play some pubs in the game to get my camos, and I'm never touching campaign. I've only played. I mean, I've played certain story games, and I've played Halo's campaign. I've never played COD campaigns. It's not my thing. So like when I see this trailer, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad to see it's Treyarch again. Like we kind of already knew, because Treyarch is by far the best developer. Um, and then like I don't know, like the trailers like this just don't move me a lot, because like I said, I don't like campaign, but I think you did a little bit more of a deep dive into the trailer and saw something you liked.
I did. I don't know if it's, if it's how true this is or not, or what it might be, but I did see, and towards the end, this showed the guy, going into active camo, allegedly, and then coming out
Yeah,
of it and shooting his gun and stuff. So there might
which
be, specials returning potentially.
sometimes you see things in the campaign trailer and it's like, it might be just like a campaign exclusive, but like I don't know. Like I could see, because like I think I'll scroll down here. I think it might be the next point that they made in here. I mean, yeah, platform details. It sounds like, even though they signed the deal with Microsoft, which doesn't affect me because I have a PC and an Xbox. So even if they sign
Hmm.
an exclusive deal with Microsoft, like I'm getting
You're
the game
good.
either way. Um, there is like rumors that it could go to like the Switch for the first time in a long time, and like Nintendo, which would be big, because like there are probably certain people that like are really casual gamers that only have a Switch, and they just they like to play like the Mario games, or
Hmm.
just like because Switch does have some good exclusives. Like they just like to play Switch or whatever, and maybe we'll get a few more players because they'll just like, yeah, sure, I'll try COD. Um, I was surprised though it will be coming to Xbox One and PS4.
It's kind of crazy.
That
This
is,
day
yeah,
and age.
that is insane. It's been, I mean, the Xbox. I got the Xbox Series S. What I mean, like, or Series X. Like, what? It got to be like 5 years ago at this point or more, right? Because it
Yeah.
was like, I think it came out before COVID,
Yeah.
which crazy to say that also like kind of started
I think it
becoming a
came out like
thing like 5 or 6
November
years ago.
of
Yeah,
2020. Yeah.
I think it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Treyarch developing, but anyways, we were talking about the trailer and stuff, and where is it here? This is what I was going to talk about. It's in terms of the camo thing. It's a sequel set in the near future to Black Ops 2. Um, so obviously Black Ops 2, we know because of Nuketown 2025, that's set about 2025, which is current day basically.
Mm,
And it says Call of Duty 2025, this Black Ops 7 title is slated to be around 2030. So not present day, but just like a few years in the future. But now a newer report from a playtest of October 2024 and April 2025 suggests a 2035 setting. So 5 more years into the future, about 10 years from now, which is somewhat similar to how like when they made Black Ops 2, because like Black Ops 2 is like 2012 and the game
yep.
was set in 2025. So I mean 13 years, but around like 10 in
Hmm.
the future. But that is what makes it interesting, Brock, for your point of talking about camo is who knows if it'll just be in the campaign or not. But like I could see this being a game because like obviously Black Ops 3 takes place, well after that. But like I could see this being like I've talked about this for a while as like an idea, but like Treyarch hit me up, I'll take the invoice. But like them making a game where they don't want to go full future, but like making one in between where it's like the early makings, like you know what I mean? Of like the stuff in
Yeah.
Black Ops 3, like wall bouncing, but not full jetpacks like they're talking about.
Yeah.
Or like maybe there's like a shorter, like a camo that you can pop for just a few seconds because it's an early development. Maybe there's a psychosis where you only shoot out two like copies of yourself instead of three. Um, Maybe there's like a I don't know, like a Ripper that has a little less range. I don't know, like a Tempest is only a couple shots or like it doesn't have as much effect. I don't know, like stuff where it's like an early development, so it's like weaker specialists.
Yeah. And
Like
that'd be cool because at this point, I
yeah.
think all the kind of fans will want anything fun to come to the game.
Yeah, so like maybe, something like that comes out because like I mean there's something in here. I want to get to it. I remember reading this article yesterday and there was something in here that I want to get to. But yeah, I think I don't care if like people are like, "Oh, the specialists are cheesy." Like two of the greatest games, my two favorite competitive games of all time, specialists in them, BO3 and BO4.
Yep.
And like I understand like, oh, it can be a little cheesy and there can be a little RNG, but like at the end of the day, we're playing Call of Duty for millions of dollars. Like we're not the NFL. We're not the NBA. Like it doesn't need to be this perfect rule set and like everything has to be like so uniform and like because like like baseball, these sports like all these established rules for 100 plus years. Same thing with football and basketball. Like they've been around for maybe not as long as baseball, but like years and years and years, like 50 plus years and have like established rules and all that, and like even their rules update. Like it's Call of Duty, it's an arcade shooter. Like
Yeah.
let's have some fun. Like I'm not saying we need all the cheese in the game, but like the specialists are fun and they add like how many highlights from BO4 are like crazy slams or a crazy Tempest play or just like just like something crazy War
Dodges.
Machine three piece like. There's so many crazy plays with specialists, and they make it more fun. Like it can be a bailout mechanic. Like oh shoot, in BO4 you thought like a hill was unbreakable, like oh team loses, then somebody pops a four piece with grab slam.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, like this is winnable. Like it just leads for way more exciting moments. And like I know the players will say it's cheese, but like at the end of the day, like, the league dies without viewers. And like BO3 and BO4 were two of the best viewer experiences.
Yeah. And I will say, the pros, they're gonna know how to counter these specialists. So it's not like they just don't know what to do when people have it.
Mhm. Yeah. And like yeah, anybody will tell you for entertainment wise, like there if there are viewers that are saying they don't want that, I would be so curious to like if there's anybody listening right now that's like, no, I hate specialists for viewing purposes. I'm not talking about for playing. I
Yeah.
love them for playing as well, personally. But if you're talking for viewing purposes and you actually don't like that, but I'm not like, oh my god, like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I actually like genuinely want to hear why you don't like the viewing aspect of specials because like to me there is like no negative like even if there's a team I'm rooting for that gets cheesed by it, I'm like it creates a cool moment. Like I'm never going to be like, oh my god, get that out of the game, because like I think that has been a problem with Call of Duty recently as well in terms of like making the game sometimes stale to watch. Is like we GA every little thing that could be like last year GAing the strong arm nade.
Yep.
Like, shout out to NYSL. They studied the game more. They put in more time. They found nade spots with strong arm where they could throw them a little further, catch the other team off guard, and they used it in a match, I believe, against Optic on Karachi
Yes.
to hit
Karachi.
that car to win it. And it's like, then people are like, "Oh, we got to GA it." Like they should be able to do that. Sorry that NYSL put in more time and worked harder than you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
For
I don't
real.
agree with GAing absolutely cheesy stuff. I totally like the heartbeat sensor, but that was in the game a lot. I get that. Like somebody's trying to like camp a corner and you can heartbeat sensor them and find them. Okay, cool. Yeah, get rid of that. Like flashes. Yup, get rid of those. Like a lot of things. But like there's no reason to be getting rid of snipers.
Yep.
It adds a wrinkle in S&D that makes it way more fun to watch. And also snipers are always easy to counter. I know smokes can be like kind of hit or miss and tough, and that is annoying. Like if Activision could just make proper smokes, we could have snipers at all times without like the one ways and all the cheese and stuff. But like there is all these GAs, there's no reason to. So like
Yeah.
let's get the specialists, let's get all that stuff in there. Like certain things absolutely have to be GA'd, but there are certain things that they take out, and it's like, dude, like can we have some fun? Like this is an arcade shooter. You're playing Call of Duty for millions of dollars. Let's leave some stuff in.
Yeah. It's not just play gun up and nothing else can happen. Just who shoots their gun straighter and better
Yeah.
team wins.
Well, and like the specialists add a wrinkle of skill gap and strategy too.
Yeah.
Like literally think about it. Optic, they in BO4, Optic dominates Major One. Like they look like they are going to be untouchable for the year. Like
Hmm.
Dashy was like had one of the best events anybody's ever had that never really gets talked about. Scump was unreal. It was the best event we had seen him play in a long time. Since probably like he won champs like a year or two.
Yep.
Karma looks awesome. Crim looks awesome. TJ is maybe like the best stretch of his career besides, I guess the World War II, but like they all look awesome. They look unbeatable. And then as the game develops, they don't have a proper sub that can use the grapple because it's not really Scump style like being the entry. And TJ just couldn't figure out how to use it. So they have Karma automatics on the grapple. And like that was a big difference. Like you had other teams like Abizi on the grapple, another top team like Thieves with Priest on the grapple. Like everybody else had their saw using the
Hmm.
grapple, their like entry SMG, and they were like flying with it, and it helped their pace. But Optic just didn't have a sub that could do that, and that was a legit skill gap. Like they didn't have a sub that could figure it out, and like they'll always Damon on grapple, Karma on grapple, and it hurt us. It's like they even tried to switch it and put TJ on grapple for that one playoff event in Miami, and they didn't win a map. They went 0-6 map count and got last place. And it was like there's like a skill gap that's added with it, and like I don't know. I want the specialist in.
Yep. Everyone should want it, viewer wise.
I think player wise, they should too, because league will
Yeah,
be
they
more
should.
popular. They'll make more money. They'll have better views on their streams and all that. But that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
Brock, this is the one I'm most excited about with a caveat. Next thing, gameplay leaks, remastered Black Ops 2 maps. As a follow up to Black Ops 2, COD 2025, as we now know it as Black Ops 7, is reportedly set to feature iconic multiplayer maps from the original release Black Ops 2. While we've seen the likes of Raid and Express return in various ways over the years, this could mark the first time several classics make their way back into the spotlight. Unlike 2023's Modern Warfare 3, a game that launched exclusively with remade maps, COD 2025 could include a mix. The current plan is to launch with new maps and remastered maps in conjunction, Insider Gaming reported. This aligns with earlier claims from COD insider Bob Network, who also claimed COD 2025 will function much like MW3 2023, though just with Black Ops 2 maps being remastered. The April 2024 leak also claims some of the maps have a futuristic Japanese theme, so these could be new maps or visual overhauls to BO2s. Black Ops 7 reveal trailer showed off some locales that fit this description. So there's a good chance these leaks are true. So we'll just stick on that topic for now. I will say, like we used to always say, just like bring back the classic maps. We saw in MW3, the MW2 maps, they weren't bad. They were still
Yeah.
fun to play. I still think like last year's like rank play and stuff might have been my favorite to play of all the CDL era games. I didn't think I was gonna like it more, but I think I like it more than Black Ops 6. Um,
Yeah.
in terms of just ranked. I really liked last year's game, even though the maps were iffy. Like the MW2 maps didn't hold up as well with the current movement and everything. And I love the BO2 maps, but at the same time, like it can get stale. MW2, or I'm sorry, last year's game, MW3 2023, didn't get as stale for me because I was playing more Halo at the time of MW2, so I wasn't like already too sick of those maps.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing that I like is if there is a mixture of new maps because I want the BO2 maps to be able to fall back on. But in an ideal world, brand new maps that are amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what everybody wants. We want brand new maps that are amazing, and then maybe you supplement a raid, a standoff, those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah, just make all the good maps,
You know
new
what I
maps
mean?
good, and can have more maps in there in the pool.
My mic, I think my mic shut off again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. My headset is like my headset's being weird, but you know what I mean? Like I wanna supplement. I want as many good new maps as possible, and then like if we need to add extra maps, then we add the remastered ones in. But in an ideal world, we play new maps that are amazing.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like I also like I don't know. Like people are like, yeah, raid, throw it in there. It's like I don't know. In a way, I'm a little bit sick of raid. It sounds weird to say because it's like arguably objectively the best competitive map in Call of Duty history.
Yeah.
But, like, in a way, are you, like, a little sick of it because 'cause we've played it so many times? It's like, can you just make some more good maps so we don't have to just rely on raid?
Yeah, that is, that is true. We've been
Yeah.
played Raid a lot over the past couple of years and years before that even.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
just
definitely want, new maps that are great.
yeah, I don't know. They've, like, re-released it in, like, damn near every COD, whether it's been played competitively or not. They've, like, re-released it in, like, damn near every Treyarch title.
Yeah.
And also Express being on here. I've always had this take. I actually just really don't like Express very much. I actually
Yeah,
don't
not
think
really a
Express
fan of
SC
it.
is all that great.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not that huge of a fan of it. And Standoff like didn't play that well in Cold War. Standoff is an amazing map in BO2. It was like too small in Cold War. It played like I don't know, like you got to your spots really fast
Yeah.
in Cold War. But like Standoff is a great map in with the movement speed of BO2. Um, but anyways, the other thing that I think bodes well to these Black Ops 2 maps playing so much better is the fact that they were made for hardpoint. Because
Mhm.
don't forget, they introduced hardpoint in Black Ops 2 and made the maps kind of catered towards it.
Yep.
Whereas in MW2, they didn't have hardpoint and they tried to remaster those maps. And like those maps weren't made for hardpoint. And they just like tried to make it work. So like
Yeah.
the new devs don't even have to try to find a way to fix it. Like they can literally put the hills and the spots from all the BO2 maps, which were made for them. So like if we can actually get a mix of some decent new maps, which is a big task because it's been a long time since they've made a really good. The last, I mean, I guess maybe not a long time. The last really good original maps we saw were last year
Yep.
when they introduced Vista, Six Star, and Rio. Those literally
Those were
changed
good.
MW3 from being a kind of a low tier ranked play competitive game to like one of the better ones we played in a long time because all three of those maps were awesome to play.
Mhm. They're
Um,
awesome to play, and, two of them were on the smaller size, a lot of engagements.
yeah, they flowed like Six Star especially was like a pretty clear cut 3 lane. Same with Vista, like they were like pretty overall clear cut 3 lane maps. Specifically talking Six Star for sure.
Yeah.
Classic 3 lane, decently small maps that were just like it was such a good map. It was like the best map we've seen in so long. So like give us some original maps with the BO2 remasters. Like I'll take a few BO2 remasters in there and that has high potential.
Mhm.
The next thing, Rock, I mean, these two right together make me just like getting excited and I don't want Call of Duty to we're in the COD cycle. They're getting us excited and they're just gonna break our um but
Yeah.
this next thing.
Hopefully not, though.
I mean, this next thing, Brock. Pick 10 create a class system, and the thing below it, advanced omni movement. And so here's
Mhm.
the thing on the pick 10. One early detail claimed COD's popular pick 10 system could return. Rather than selecting all sorts of attachments, perks, equipment, and the like, the pick 10 system limited you to just 10 items for those of you that didn't play back in the day. Because it's been, I mean, I usually like to think like, everybody knows pick 10, but it's been a long time. Since we've had that. So like a lot of the
As
players, they might not know. And that's okay. Players would have to spend these 10 points picking pieces of equipment, building out weapons with multiple attachments, selecting perks, or balancing the lot. It added a great degree of strategy to the mix, allowing for more niche builds to thrive. If the earliest rumblings hold true, this familiar system could be back in play for COD 2025. So once again, like I'm not judging if you didn't know that because I mean, when was the last time we had pick 10, bro? BO3? I think it was BO3.
yes, Build 3.
Yeah, I wanna say BO3 was the last pick 10. BO4 might have had it actually.
I can't remember if BO4 had it.
No, because BO4 you could load up your gun with attachment.
Yeah,
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
BO3.
I think PO3 was the last one to have pick 10. So like for those of you that don't know why that like seems more balanced is like so you know how like they're in create a class today, it's like, your gun and you get 5 attachments. So you put usually like a reticle, like if it's an AR, you put like a reticle and 4 other attachments. Everybody gets that. You get a perk 1, a perk 2, a perk 3, a stun, or like a tactical and a lethal. Um a secondary weapon with a bunch of attachments on it as well, and then also you get your knife now. So in the pick 10, it's like you could take off your secondary and have no secondary, and that gives you an extra spot. You don't have to run a stun or attack or even any perks. Like you could load up your gun with 8 attachments and basically just run around with a gun. Or you could, only put like a sight and a grip on your gun, and you could have like 5 perks. You could have 2 frags for a certain class in S&D maybe, or you could just have a stun, no
Yep.
um, like there it makes like you could have like maybe you want somebody to run you need somebody to run a trophy. Like they're gonna have to have a trophy class where like they have it like 2 people have a trophy and it costs them maybe not having a stun or something, or maybe not having a perk 3. And it forces the game to be more balanced because you have to it's a give and take. You can't just everybody doesn't have the same loaded class. There's going to be strats like maybe there's a perk like a strong arm, and in one round of S&D you switch to your strong arm class, and all 4 people have strong arm. They throw a nade a little further and they blow you up. But by maybe using that strong arm perk as a perk green, maybe they give up their tack mask.
Mhm.
So for the round, if you stun them, it's going to be easier for you to get a kill. It's just like a lot more strategy and balance that makes S&D specifically and other game modes like a lot more fun. Like I don't know, maybe Brock, maybe I'm playing against you and your team is, running um tack and flak jacket both and using like perk greed, but that costs you like a quick draw. So I'm getting my gun up faster. Whereas like I'm not running tack, but I am running flak, so you can stun me better, but I can get my gun up faster. Like I have a different perk on that helps me like lightweight. I'm moving around the map faster. It's just
Yep.
like the give and take in the strategy is just so much better with pick 10, and it also is more fun because it's not just uniform. It allows you to maybe come up with some off meta things that can actually work.
Sure is instead of the, like you said, load your gun up, everyone gets a nade, gets a trophy, and, play like that.
Now that is if pros don't GA everything on the face of the it just becomes one class, which could certainly
I don't doubt it.
yeah. Now, Brock, this is the thing I can't wait to talk about. We've been going for a little longer than this than I thought I would, but I don't care. It's fun to talk about a new game. There isn't as much to talk
I
about now.
see it.
We're waiting for champs. This is the thing. I mean, anybody that knows you and I, advanced omni movement and wall running. Okay, you hear that? Okay. Then you read the next little paragraph here. With Black Ops 6, we've seen the debut of omni movement, a new system to sprint, dive, and slide in all directions. But COD 2025 leaks suggest wall jumps, wall running, and perhaps even jetpacks could return.
Hex.
So Uplink's return has been rumored as well. If we can eliminate control for Uplink, that's already a massive W, even if there's no jetpacks. But reports that indicated a step beyond with an evolved Omni movement system allowing for a little wall jump. Then players found wall running and jetpacks in Black Ops 6 game files. And not just that, they're actually functional, not just like some random garbage found in the game files.
Mhm.
However, it's still up in the air whether these are features actually meant for COD 2025 or being used as a Black Ops 6 limited time mode. In my opinion, I probably think they're for a Black Ops 6 limited time mode, but I'm going to act like I'm delusional. And just right now, I want to say they're for the next game because
Yep, they
anybody that
are.
knows you and I, jetpacks is what we have wanted. We were on the train of never get jetpacks.
Mhm.
Both of us, we never wanted jetpacks to go. Like
Yep.
I had Black Ops 3. I mean, at the point when jetpacks were leaving, Black Ops 3 was easily my favorite COD I'd ever played. I think probably yours at that point too. Yours might be BO4 now, but like I'm
At the
talking like
point, definitely.
at the point, jetpacks I think was your favorite for sure. And even if it's not your favorite game, I would say I mean Black Ops 3 is probably in your top 3 still.
Yeah.
Like AW awesome game. Just I was still not playing like a ton of COD at that point. Like I was kind of back and forth between Halo and COD. Um, but like, dude, if
We need
jetpacks
it.
are back, it would be the best thing ever. I don't think they're going to be back, but either way, like the advanced with wall running and like little wall jumps and stuff, just making like a crazy advanced movement game with uplink, like that is a huge W, and I hope it's here to stay. It probably won't be. We'll probably like get it. We'll get like a taste of like kind of jetpacks and advanced movement in Black Ops 7, and it'll be awesome. And then we'll go back to just like standard Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I hope not though. Get a little wall running and maybe a little bit of a jetpack boost here and there, not like a fully functional one.
Dude,
Like we can get uplink back too then.
the wall bouncing and like wall running thing is like that alone is just awesome. Like,
Hmm.
give me all the advanced movement. Um, Give me all the advanced movement. Like, I love it. So I hope that's the case. I don't think we're gonna get jetpacks, but you never know. The next thing that's on here, I want to come back to something about the jetpacks and stuff, but next thing that's on here is about open world campaign. We're not really going to touch on that. Like neither of us are really cool campaign. Round based zombies. Excited about that because like I'm not like a
Good.
zombies person, but I do like to play zombies every now and then. Um, and I know you're not like a huge zombies person either, but like I know every once in a while you like to play zombies and stuff. And the round based like classic Easter egg format is definitely the most fun when you do end up playing it.
Hmm. Most
So
definitely.
I'm excited about that. Also, I saw this. There's word that the original Zombies crew will return in some capacity, which is kind of cool. And Dead Ops. I actually kind of always like Dead Ops arcades. That's kind of cool. Once again,
Mm.
I think you and I are both pretty much like bots when it comes to zombies. Like our
Yeah,
level of
we.
is very low, but like I enjoy playing zombies and I enjoy round. So that's exciting because that is something that like I'm not going to grind it, but I will play it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong about us being bots. Yeah. But it is fun to play from time to time.
We have friends that know the Easter eggs. I just spawn in, I just shoot my gun, stay alive. And zombies like on a random night when you're just like chilling at home and have nothing to do and you're gaming with the boys and it's just like, all right, let's play a zombies map. It's just like a fun, like chill thing to do. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about
Hmm.
that.
Agreed.
I'm gonna switch over here to the next thing we're gonna do, but I wanted like as we switch over here, I wanted to talk um your favorite Black Ops games. Rank them in order for I suppose just like I don't know, like the multiplayer competitive aspect because like not objectively, because I think like objectively BO2 is probably the best. Um, from your favorite down to your least favorite Black Ops games, just off the top of your head. I can go first if you want. Second, my favorite to
Yep.
play competitively. It's crazy because BO2 is not in my top two for me to play competitively because I sucked at it, even though it was incredibly fun. I think I depending on the day I switch back and forth to my number one and number two. I think I'll say Black Ops 4 was my favorite just because the memories I have in that game of playing with our squad of 5 is, like, literally some of my favorite memories ever.
Hmm.
Um, Black Ops 3 then, on any given day, it could be 1. I'll put it at 2. I'd put BO2, or sorry, yeah, BO2 at 3. I think then I would go Cold War, and then I think I'd go Black Ops 6 and then Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 and last just because I didn't play competitive.
Hmm.
Black Ops 1 has a special place in my heart because I did it was like basically where I started with COD and I love the game. I just didn't play it competitive. So yeah, I think my order would probably be BO4, then BO3, then BO2, then Cold War, and then Black Ops 6, and then Black Ops 1 kind of by default. In terms of just competitive and my enjoyment of playing them.
I have the same list here.
Think so? Exact same list?
We might. Well, obviously, we all know my favorite is Black Ops 4. Just a little bit more than Black Ops 3. So Black Ops 3 is number 2. And then I would definitely say competitive aspect.
I would assume you'd say BO2 because you did enjoy that game, even though like
I
it sucked.
did, but I was like bad. That's the only
Yeah, so was
thing.
I. That was terrible. But the game was like I know for a fact if like I had the knowledge skill I had in like BO3 or BO4, I would have loved BO2 even.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say Black Ops 2 then. Because definitely was a fun time to play.
Yeah,
And then what you can go Cold War because Black Ops 6 is not better than Cold War.
yeah.
And
I had
then
high hopes for Black Ops 6, but there's some misses, especially the
the
maps.
Black Ops 6 next for me, but it could have been a good game. I mean, sure, it's not bad, but the maps aren't that great for competitive wise. But
Yeah,
I like the movement though and all that jazz. And
yeah.
then Black Ops 1 because I don't even. They didn't even have like a rank playlist, or I didn't even play at the time.
Yeah, I
Rank
didn't
play.
play any kind of competitive. Although like a lot of people do talk about it. Um, I just didn't play any competitive, so yeah, I didn't even know that competitive was really a thing. So I can't even like comment on it or like say like, oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's like last by default, but not out of sucked. It's more just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't have the
yeah.
ball knowledge for that.
They said the competitive was good, and I was playing against bots, thinking it was real
Yeah,
online.
yeah, like it. Yeah, I don't know how to even rank. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Black Ops 6 isn't last because I would have thought like Black Ops 6 would have been in fourth of the Black Ops games for me because like it would take a lot for it to get into the top three.
yeah,
It's like I mean, like when you're talking the top 1 and 2, there isn't a big gap. Like Black Ops 3 and 4 are far and away my favorite competitive games I've played. Like
so
it's
good.
those two, then a huge gap. And then BO2 just because I was such a bot, even though like BO2 is an amazing game. Objectively, it's probably the best one. It's just like for personal enjoyment. There was just something about I think it was like something about those years. Like we were in high school during Black Ops 3 and it was just like grinding that game with like our high school friends was so fun. And then BO4 was like early college for me. And it was like I was so busy. And then like I would just like the only time I had time to play was like late at night and we would just grind GBs like super, super late into the night. That was like the one year we playing challengers because we were like
It was so
we were
good, actually.
really, really, really good in that game, and we actually like thought about like going to bed and playing challengers, and we decided not to. I wonder what would have happened.
Yeah,
Um,
I wondered
if we
too.
would have like played challengers or something because it would have been fun. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, we're gonna jump into this tier list now. Comment down below your thoughts on Black Ops 7 because I'm really curious to see. We obviously don't know a lot. Seems like this might have been the game that Treyarch put most of their time into in the development cycle, and then it's like randomly do BO6 and they just like threw something together. It seems like more of the development might have gone into 7, and I hope that's true, and I hope they drop a banger for us because if anybody was ever going to do it, it is Treyarch. The Sledgehammer has been actually decently reliable. Because I mean, we got Treyarch next year, and after that, we know we're basically.
Yeah,
Um, but we're gonna jump into this. I know you see the teams down here that didn't make champs. Just ignore those. Um, we're gonna rank teams based on where we think they are for champs, as well as what these teams have to do to win champs. Like, what is it gonna take for them to win champs? So you see at the top is the favorites to win. Second tier is like they're a contender. They're probably in that next like echelon, and then there's an area for dark horses, and then there's the EG World War II run section. That is basically like you need a miracle, like you need something crazy to
yeah.
happen. So I mean, starting out, we want to put the two teams that we have in that tier. I feel like there's only two, probably Carolina and Boston.
Yep.
And we're not gonna order these like in a specific order. We're just throwing them on the tier list. If you're listening, these are not in. We're just gonna throw them on the tier list, um, in their category. So Carolina and Boston. We'll talk about what they need to win the tournament. But like, do you agree those two they're not even at the dark horse level? They need the EG World War II, the crazy run.
Yeah. And for Carolina, it's kind of crazy how we're taking then Miracle Run since the start of the year they played so well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good portion of the start of the year where like they were like looked at as the fourth best team, like before Optic had their fall off and was still in the top three.
Yep.
Like, because I mean, I guess for a little bit there, like FaZe wasn't really like. I mean, we all knew they were gonna be like fine, or we thought they would be, but like there was a little bit where FaZe wasn't really because they were really struggling to start the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously they go on to win Major 1 and 2, and like that's all history. But like Ravens for a bit there were like a top 4 team, and even as they were starting to fall off, they were still like top 6. So yeah, you're not wrong. Like based on like where they were a lot of the early part of the year, you would think they'd be like a dark horse team. Like they could win it on the right run, but like likely to get like a top 6 or maybe a top 4.
Yeah. It's been so bad last couple of majors, and team change in there too probably doesn't help.
Yeah, it's weird. It's they I still respect the change because they went for trying to get a
Mm-hmm.
higher ceiling player. Maybe should have got Mercules instead. In hindsight, obviously that's hindsight's 2020. It's easy to say, but you know it didn't pan out. And then for Boston, kind of the same thing. Like they can upset you, and like they've been okay at times, but like for this team to win an event, it would take a miracle.
Yeah. They need all four players need to play good in hardpoint and find a way to win a hardpoint and Nezlo the rest.
Yeah, I mean, this is harder to say than the teams that are actually maybe like versus are favorites, but like, what do each of these teams need? Like, if we're sitting here in 3 weeks time and we're like, wow, they won champs. Like, what is that going to take for Boston? You need Cold War Cammy.
Definitely.
You need MW19 Wake. You need peak Snoopy. You need Snoopy to be when everybody coined him as like the next shottzyy in
Hmm.
terms of his movement, all that. You need Snoopy to be at that level to just be absurd. And you need Purge being like an S&D mastermind and just like doing all the dirty work in the respawns. Like, you need for this team to win. It's like, some teams it's like, oh, if like they do this and this, like they could certainly win. But like for Boston, it's like literally everything click. You need
Yeah.
the absolute peak of every player, and they need to have like, to be honest, they just need to have amazing teamwork. Like, they're not going to win, and there's like a 0% chance. But like, if they were to win, it's going to be because like their players all literally played to their peak, and they had amazing teamwork. Whereas like if a team like LAT or FaZe win, they don't need all their players to play to their absolute peak. Like,
Hmm.
they could probably win with them all just playing pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
Uh,
That's just don't think it's gonna happen, but never say never.
yeah, I mean, and then for Carolina, it's kind of the same thing, but like, you're going to need Teach to actually be the Teach that we saw early in the year. Same thing with Slasher. Uh, and then, on the side, like, you need like Gwyn to be the best player on the team, really.
Hmm.
Like, you need Gwyn to be the best
Definitely
player in the venue, damn near. And you need
have a
Rex to actually
chance.
show up. Like, it's the same thing. Like, everybody in this team has to be basically playing to their peak because they're just such underdogs.
Yeah.
It's just so unlikely. They're just like, basically isn't a path.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say so. From wherever the teams we have next.
yeah. Do you
Pure
want to? I mean, do you want to do the next two easy ones to get those out of the way before we get to the ranking?
we can.
I mean, I think it's LA and FaZe are the two teams that are in favorites.
Yep, they both
LAT and FaZe. Like, I
won all the tournaments this
I
year.
know we're not ordering them just for the aesthetic of it. I just threw LAT ahead of FaZe. They're on the back-to-back run, so they're probably technically ahead of them right now, even though I know we're really ordering them. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know how you could include anybody else in favorite, and I don't know how you couldn't have. I know LAT has won the last two. FaZe won the first two. They each also won one of the minors. So
They
like,
literally won it all.
it's been a dead split between these two teams. I don't know how you could have anybody else in favorite. And like, it's basically like one of these two teams is going to win champs. They're probably going to face off. But the one thing we do know about Call of Duty and about champs is things get weird
Hmm.
and they get crazy. So you'd never know. Something crazy could happen. But like, these two are certainly the favorites. And I think you and everybody listening we'd be pretty damn shocked if one of these two teams didn't win. Like, I would be pretty shocked. I would honestly be pretty shocked if they weren't the two teams in the finals. But like, if you would have told me somebody else like snuck it out and made the finals, I wouldn't be like too surprised because Surge did make back-to-back finals.
Yeah.
So like, one of them did miss the finals, here and there. But like, if you would have told me that one of these teams didn't win, I'd be pretty damn shocked.
Yeah, most definitely with the star power they have on that team. But
Yeah,
like you said, things get weird at champ sometimes, and you just never know.
yeah. I think, yeah, it's very weird. Um, those two are like the clear favorites. Not much else to say there. Like, they're going to be basically everybody's pick, and like, I would say I'd be surprised if both of them were in the finals. I'd be absolutely shocked if neither of them were. That'd be the craziest champs ever if neither of them were in finals.
Yeah.
Um, and also I would be. I mean, you can never say I'd be like completely shocked if one of them didn't win it because it's champs and crazy. I mean, we have it down on the bottom there. EG World War II run. Nobody had that team winning. They didn't even qualify for the playoffs before champs. And they were literally they had the 3-0 optic to get out of pools. If they would have won
Yeah.
3-1, they wouldn't have even made it out of pools. Like,
That's
that's like, crazy things can happen, but like, it'd be very surprising if one of these two teams didn't win.
yeah.
With that said, Brock, there more than one team in the contender tier? I don't know.
Mm,
I think Miami's in there, right? You have to
I
put
would
them in there
I would
just
say
because
so.
they've been the most consistent placing team. Like, they've made 3 of the 4 Sundays. They've got 2/3 and a fourth, I believe. I think what they miss in major 2. Or, yeah, I think they missed Sunday in major 2 or 3, but they've got a fourth and a couple thirds. Like,
Yeah.
They've gotten
Mm,
very far. Like they also the difference is like it's not, they probably look the best they've looked all year as of late.
yep.
So I think
They
Miami
they
has to be in the contender tier.
they beat every team, pretty handily and stuff like that. Besides, the top two, and they beat them here and there, but not consistently.
Yeah, which I mean, that brings us to our next point, Brock, is like I would say like if Vancouver were able to get like a top 6 or a 4th at the last tournament, they would certainly be in the contender tier because they would have a second, and another Sunday. They'd have 3 Sundays in a row with 2 of them being seconds.
Yeah.
But they go out. They had a little bit of a shakier online stage. I think they went like 2. They still made winners. It was still fine. But then they got double first round, and one of them being to Falcons. It's like, do you want to overreact on recency bias, like, and throw them in contender, or do we? I feel like we have to call them a dark horse because, like, I feel like the best people would have them ranked right now is 4th, and I think some people would even have Ultra and maybe even Optic. They might be 6th. Like, that might be crazy recency bias, but like, I almost is this crazy to say that each of the 3 teams remaining all belong in Dark Horse?
I wouldn't say it's crazy, but I will say on behalf of like Surge, they did make at least they made a final,
Yeah.
but like you said, bottom of the last tournament, and sure they made finals, but they haven't won a map in the finals, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, like, it's actually really weird because when you think about it, I feel like all 3 of these teams are in a different spot of the current state of their team. Like, I feel like Surge is at the lowest point they've been at in a while because, they were in back-to-back finals in the top 12. So I feel like they're at, like, the lowest public perception of their team right now.
Hmm.
Optic are at the highest that they've been at basically all year besides Major 1. But, like,
Yep.
Major 2 and Major 3, Optic were very down. Even to start Major 4, the prospects were very down with Skies, and I feel like Optic, this is the most realistic anybody has been about them in a long time. Like, this is the
Yep.
best people have felt about Optic all year. Like, they actually have a chance to make a little bit of a run with Merc. And then Ultra, I feel like, are right in the middle. Like, it's not the worst thing maybe because 'cause they're still playing well, but also, like, it doesn't feel like they have the same, like, magic behind them that they did for a bit. Like, I thought for a long time they were the 3rd best team, and now it's hard to say that they're better than Miami, but, like, they're not bad. Like, they're still good. So I feel like they're all 3 in different spots. Like, Ultra are kind of in the middle of what they've looked like. Surge are kind of at the bottom, and Optic are kind of like the best they've.
Yeah. It's like Ultra's just like very consistently like fourth slash fifth best team. they
Yeah. And,
never
like,
get too low or never get like too high.
and Surge has been, like, basically besides the last major, has been, like, probably, like, top 4, and for, like, I mean, for the major 2 and 3 stretch, they were literally the 3rd best team in the game. They were right behind Thieves and
Hmm.
FaZe. They had back-to-back seconds. I don't know. I wanna put all 3 in Dark Horse, but, like, if you wanna put 1 in Contender, I'll let you over that.
Mm, do we want to make it 2-2-2 or
I don't know. Who would you put in Contender?
contender? I would probably lean. I would lean towards Surge because they have
I don't
looked
know. Do you
good overall. Besides like the major one and last major.
I just don't think they're a tier above Optic or Ultra because of that recent performance, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it up there.
It's really tough to kind of rate the Surge because
Yeah, like, I
they're
think
good, but then like they do what did last major, bottom out.
I think Optic is, like, the perfect definition of dark horse. Like, I think they fit in there perfect because, like, they I can see them making their way to becoming a contender throughout the tournament. Like, if like, they have the talent on paper. We all know, like, shottzyy, Dashy, Huke, Mercules, like, these are 4 incredibly talented players.
Hmm.
Like, we know they can make their way into a contender, but also, like, we're not shocked if they end up getting a top 8 or a top 6. Like,
Yeah.
if they just bottom out really fast, we're not surprised at all. But, like, we know they have the ability to, like, make a run with their talent on paper and, like, potentially make it to, the losers final, and then you never know what happens from there. And I feel like I feel the same about these other 2 teams. Like, Ultra, it's the same thing. Like, I can see them making a run to, like, the losers final and being in the top 3 with their talent, but I can also see them getting top 6. And same with Surge. I could see them bottoming out in top 6 again, but also with their talent, I can see them making a small run. and being all of a sudden in losers finals with a chance to make finals again. Like, so I feel like they all belong in dark horse, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm down to put three, keep one in contender.
All right, which one? Oh no,
Uh,
you want to keep one in contender.
yeah, we'll keep Miami contender.
I guess then these are easier to say than like, everybody knows for LAT and FaZe, what does it take to win? I mean, we've seen them both win 2 tournaments. We know what it takes.
Yeah,
If Miami wins, like, what is it going to take? I think I feel like I have a really weird thought on this. And I think if Miami wins, it's going to strictly come down to super, playing the right way and playing well and also medals. Because
yep,
I think like it's a given. Like Rencore and Real are probably going to play well. I mean, obviously, or they're just gonna win. So like
yeah.
Rencore and Real have to play well. We know that. I feel like you're going to need a really good tournament. Like you need super and medals to play match Rencore and Real.
Gonna want to see medals more closer to that one than a .9.
Yeah, like I feel like it relies way more on them because I feel like I know for the most part I'm getting out of.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give me what I need. Like
Yep.
I just think it's more like if medals and super are playing really well, like that's where this team ends up winning, especially medals.
Yeah. Agreed.
For Seattle, I mean, you're gonna I like in the
Teamwork.
same thing.
All need to play good.
Yeah, you need the incredible teamwork that we've seen at times from them, but I also feel like obviously you need the super from Neptune, like we've seen a lot of this year.
Yep.
I think you need a Booza to really be a superstar as well. And then you just need you need superstar play out of Neptune and a Booza, like they have to be the duo, and then you just need Nasty and 04 to just bring you consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens, this team can win because I feel like that's the issue is like a Booza, like he's supposed to be your star AR. Nasty's
Yep.
supposed to be your gap filler. Abuza's supposed to be your star, and Neptune's supposed to be your star. Like those two have to be the stars, and the other two just have to bring you consistency. Like, well, those two are just like going off. You just can't give me a 0.5 in a random hard point. Like you two got to just shoot back and like play well in S&D. So I think it's that like Neptune and Abuza got to be superstars, and the other two just have to fill their roles.
Yep. And I will say, Boozy last year did show up at champs, dropping that crazy numbers. So if
Yeah,
they do that, don't count the search team out.
yeah, and I mean like I'm kind of cheering for Chaos at champs. I think like I might cheer for Surge at champs because like I want to cheer for Kenny. Unfortunately, it's the first year I can't do that.
Yeah.
But like I might cheer for this Surge team because I don't know. It's like all players that have a ring or haven't much, and they've been pretty good all year. And people like us are like now writing them off because like it could be unfair. Like you were mentioning, maybe they should be in contender. It could be unfair for them to be all the way down in dark horse a tier below Miami because like literally they've been so good for months and months and months, and they have a bad event, and we knock them down a bunch and like talk about them like they're not a contender. So I don't know. They might be the team I'm cheering for. I'm kind of honestly just cheering for any team that's not Phaser LAT just to make it crazy.
Yeah. It,
um,
most of these players on the top teams have rings, so we always like to see new players get their first ring and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, what teams it would be like if
Miami.
Boston, Miami, Vancouver, Toronto won, it'd be new players getting rings.
Yeah.
Like
Surge.
I'm talking all of them haven't won because like Optic, obviously a couple or 3 players in that team have rings. Obviously, FaZe and LAT have people with rings. Surge doesn't. Toronto doesn't. Um, and then Boston doesn't. Carolina does because it's Slasher.
Yep.
Um, Boston doesn't. So like what? There are 4 of the teams have people with rings and 4 don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the 2 most likely winners have people with rings. But in terms of Toronto, Brock, what do they need to win? I feel like it's like obviously you need MVP Joe Deceives, but like
That's a given. We
you
need.
just need like I feel like it's more like I feel like I know I'm gonna get enough out of Kleenex and Joe. I feel like it's like I need the ARs to step up if they're gonna win champs. Like I need Beans and Insight to have a tournament.
Yeah, we need Beans to be that shooter in the response, and he's Search's been playing well mostly all year,
Yeah,
and
you
same
need
thing inside.
yeah, because like you know what I mean. Like it's a given. Like we feel like we know that uh, Kleenex and Joe are going to give us what we need for the most part. Like those two are going to be good. That's kind of a given. It's like I need Insight and Beans to play at a consistent level and play at a good pace.
Yep.
And then we're to Optic, who have the old guy from Toronto, Merc. I mean, it's like the crazy thing I think for Optic is like the talent's been there since they picked up Merc. The talent level is there. I think truly for Optic, what do they need to win? They need some damn good teamwork.
Mm.
Like, is that crazy to say? Like, they need to play together and play well because like when they play together, we've seen it with this team. They can shoot with literally anybody. It's
Yep.
just a matter of actually playing the game right.
Yep. Playing the game right, putting it all together.
Yeah, like I mean, do you see anything else with this team? Like, obviously, there are other things to win, but I feel like it's just like if they put really good teamwork together, like with the shooters they have on this team, like anything, they just have to actually play the game together and play it correctly. Like they have too many times where all of a sudden they start solo challenging everything again. They're not playing well together, and it's just like, well, when you can maybe get away with that when you're playing, the four teams on the bottom here that aren't at champs, or like a Boston or Atlanta. Maybe you can get away with not playing together as much and solo challenging more and not having as good a teamwork, but like when you start punching up towards LAT and FaZe, like when you start solo challenging things and not playing together, they're going to punish you with 60s and they're just going to beat you down. Like
Yeah.
they're going to take those numbers in an S&D and just beat you. Like you need to play with teamwork, those two,
Yep.
because those two are as talented, if not, I mean, they are more talented than you, especially in this game, if you're Optic, but then also they're playing with elite teamwork. So like you can't out talent them and just win with terrible teamwork. Like those guys are literally doing both top talent and top teamwork.
Yeah. I would say, shottzyy, and dashy, going for that back to back. Maybe that adds a little more motivation for them.
Yeah, you got three players going for their. Well, I guess no, two players going for the second ring. shottzyy going to tie the record with
Hmm.
3 rings. I mean, what the you have multiple. I mean, you got FaZe who have Simpidabisi who have 2 rings. Who everybody in that team is going for another ring.
Yep.
Cell and Draza going for their second. Simpidabisi looking to join elite category as the second and third players with 3 LAN rings to join Karma. Obviously, they tie for the most rings ever with the second and third player ever with Karma to have 3 LAN rings. He's the only one with 3 LAN rings. Um, then you got shottzyy, obviously, chasing the third ring, and like you said, Dashy and Huke chasing the second.
Yep. I would say for Optic, kind of just like he's great at pinpointing, just making the right plays as well.
hmm Like the talent, just like still like especially with Merc now and like shooting, where like Kenny and Skies maybe weren't shooting as well as he was in the team, but like the talent is just certainly there. It's literally it's the team play. Like
Hmm.
can they play the game correctly? Will they have good teamwork? Like if they do that, they're a contender. Like if they don't do that, they're gonna get top 6 or top 8, and that's why they're in dark horse because like they can reach that contender level, or could just bottom out with poor teamwork and only make it into Friday or something.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at for champs. Like it's interesting because like it is a lot more. In some ways, it's more balanced, and in some ways, it's not because like it feels like the most top heavy it's ever been. Like I feel like there hasn't been a chance recently where it's been like, well, these are the two teams that are going to make it, and if not, be shocked because like last year it was really between the top four. It was like some teams were like. I mean, even Optic, like Optic has had such a bad stage 4 before champs, so they weren't even really that much in the top being like a big time contender. You know?
Yeah.
Like New York was coming off a win, so they were up there. FaZe was up there because they're FaZe. And Toronto was up there because like, they had some decent placings and they had won a tournament. But it was like, Optic is the other team in the top four, but they look so bad in stage 4. But it was like, there were like 4 teams realistically, you could see making it. And like in
Yep.
other years, there's multiple teams you could see making. This year, it's like it feels like it's pretty firmly 2 teams than everybody else, but also then the bottom feels more competitive
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
like between I mean, Carolina or Boston, could they maybe make a run to the top? Yes, but it's super unlikely. But between like Miami, Vancouver, Toronto, and Optic, I legit have no idea who's going to be third and like third and fourth teams on Sunday, or I guess not on Sunday, one match, but on Saturday, whatever in the top 4. I have no idea among those 4 teams what 2 teams are going to make it with FaZe and Thieves, assuming those 2 make it.
Yeah, it just goes to show, who's gonna show up on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah. I mean, in an ideal world, there's somebody else in the final, or maybe not, because I want the best final possible. Because we really have yet to see an actual like good final in the CDL era.
Hmm.
We
And
really
it's
haven't seen one.
yeah, and it's also champs, so some of these players, might have a little bit more nerves than these other tournaments since it's
Yeah,
champs.
and like I'm trying to think of like who are players that are like known for champs mode. Like one of the players left in the league is like Kenny was known for champs mode. Like the guy that always comes to mind for me is Apathy, who would just have
Yep.
like a lot of times he would have like mid years and like not the champs time. He would just like turn up. Scump was always a player like that too. Scump would have really good years. I mean, pretty much every year. But like besides World War II, like every year champs came around, like Scump was playing better. Formal was
Hmm.
also a player like that. Uh, your boy John was also like that a lot. Like he really had champs. Um,
I don't know that guy.
mm, I'm trying to think of other players that like there are certain the one that always comes to mind though is Apathy. Like his teams would have like terrible placings or like maybe not playing as well. Then all of a sudden it got towards champs time and
Hmm. Yep.
but yeah, you never know. Certain players are just gonna like turn it up. Slasher is a player that a lot of times in the past had turned it up at champs too. It's been a while, but like BO3 IW, like Slasher really turned it up.
Yeah.
Um, I got nothing else. If you're ready to wrap it up,
Um, I got nothing else as well. Just waiting for champs.
yeah, I don't know next week. So like Brock and I did vote on Jake Maverick's rankings again, his end of the season award for their podcast, but I like reveal our votes before they do their show because I don't want to start spoiling votes, for their show. I want them to be able to, do their thing and um not have any spoilers. So if as long as they do their award show and kind of like show that off, we'll probably talk about like who we voted by maybe next week. We might go back and look at like our bold predictions from earlier in the year and see if we got even close in any of them because I kind of forgot some of the things I said. So maybe we'll like go back and look at that. But I don't know what else for sure we'll do next week. And then the week after that, we'll be making our predictions for champs. So if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. That's going to do it for this one. And we will see you guys next week.